Y'all, today's show is so good.
But number one, I've never seen an intro like that.
It is my hope and desire that not only will episode 30 still be fun, but episode 300 will be even more fun. You are made for something great, so go and be awesome.
Ten seconds remaining.
And welcome to the show. My name is Renee Hastings, and I'm your host of Renee Speaks. Y'all, today's show is going to be so good, and partly it's because of our amazing sponsor, Wilbron. Wilbron is Alabama's premier public relations firm. If y'all have any PR needs, be sure to hit them up at www.wilbron.com. Y'all, today's guest is absolutely kicking butt and taking names. When I tell you, y'all are not going to be disappointed. Her name is Brown Suga, and she is a versatile entertainer, excelling as an actress, a host, a voiceover artist, film director and producer, a music producer, screenwriter, and a mentor. Y'all, her plate is full, but she has experience spanning the stage and television, radio, music videos, and she's worked with top brands like Essence, Samsung, and HBO. Y'all, this lady is a rock star. Her film achievements include her award-winning series and roles in films like Elliot Loves. And she also owns Mo Body Butter, a skincare brand, and she's involved in the community outreach and mentorship through organizations like OBT, or Opportunities for a Better Tomorrow. Mo's dynamic career is complemented by her work in television, including her series, Mo Brown's Bodega, and her continued production efforts through Sugar Productions. Y'all, put your hands together for Mo Brown!
Hey.
How are you?
I am happy to be here. That was a great intro. I'm excited. I was like,
Yes, that is all you, babe. That is all you. It is so great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So do you. So do you. I'm so grateful to Diana Lammerts. I'm going to shout out Diana just in case she's not able to be here today and she is able to catch the replay. I believe she's over in Germany or London, somewhere. She's across the pond. But she was kind enough to not only be on our show, but to introduce us. And when we were talking, she was like, "Oh, Renee, you've got to meet Mo." Mo. And so she hooked us up. And I'm telling you, we've been talking ever since.
Oh, yes. And it's been warm and welcoming and positive. And it's just really, really wonderful. So I thank you for being just that inspiring, beautiful, welcoming person.
Well, thank you so much. You make it easy, I promise. It's like talking to my little sister.
Good.
I love it. So one of the things, though, that we talk about a lot on this show has a lot to do with business and trying to provide some tips and tricks or some resources to our audience who may be interested in starting a business, who may be full-fledged in the throes of running a business and need some support or guidance or wisdom or just some nuggets. So as you were on your journey, Mo, what did that look like for you? What was your journey like? How did you get started in this business and become so masterful at juggling all these different things?
Interesting. Okay, so it started in terms of me founding Sugar Productions in 2007. I think it was 2007 when the stock market crashed. There were lack of opportunities for a lot of actors, producers. Broadway plays were shutting down. The movie theaters weren't doing so well. People just didn't have money to function. And so I was thinking like, okay, I'm not about to do something else after I spent my whole life, doing this. So I decided to, an old friend of mine, we decided to write a script, and it was a silent film. And so when we did the silent film, and I said, you know what, maybe I should put this in a film festival. Let's just see what happens. And I put it in the LA Web Real Film Festival, and I won. We won. We won. So we were like, okay, like I could do this. This is for real, for real. We're not playing games here.
Right.
So what I decided to do was, that's when I founded Sugar Productions. I took a spaghetti jar that I had. I washed it out and I just started putting change in it, pennies. Well, actually, I only put pennies in that jar. Now, of course, you have your life. I was making money doing my other things, but growing up, my dad always had like piggy banks for us and things like that. And so I looked at it and I said, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in the bank. And I opened Sugar Productions with $44 in pennies. Okay, $44 in pennies. I put it right in the bank account, and I said, "This is for this." And so I created a plan for myself. I had an accessory line. Now, with the accessory line, it had. I see something. I'm sorry. Okay, I need to make sure. I'm in the middle of an interview, but I see something.
We would never have known, ma'am.
So, I made a plan for myself. I had an accessory line, and I decided to do the accessories, and the accessories would fund Mo Body Butter, which is the skincare line. Now, always being on camera, you have to make sure your skin looks good. And I suffered from psoriasis. And so I said, okay, how can I make this work for myself? Created, it was body oils, butters, lip balms, all those things. So the accessory line funded Mo Body Butter, and Mo Body Butter then pushed money into Sugar Productions. So I strategized, I stayed focused, and I just kept questioning, okay, if I want to produce television content, if I want to do all those things, how can I get there? And so, when you lay everything out and you make your folders, I utilize Google Drive. Everything in the folders. And once I looked at each thing, I said, what do I need for this? And what do I need for that? And once I started looking all into and seeing what I could do, compartmentalizing, before you know it, we were like festivals in. By the time 2011 came, we had won the Black Women's Film Network Award for another short film that I did called Tears of a Phoenix. And so from there, I was like, there's no turning back now. There's no turning back now. So each year, I assess where I am. I see what I need. But to start it was because I wanted to provide opportunities for people that didn't have, so, and here we are today.
Wow, look at you. I give you all the credit, all the praise, because you did it. You had a plan. You stuck to the plan. It's like you just had this vision and you just knew, look, if I'm going to go this far, if I'm going to get to this place, I need to have all my ducks in a row. I'm going to start with a bank account that I started with pennies. Right. So you start somewhere. So no matter where you are, just starting is sometimes the hardest part. Yeah. But when you start with intention and you just put yourself out there and you're like, I'm just going to take a chance. I'm going to take a chance on me. I'm going to just see, could this actually happen? Yeah. And then you just do it. And I'm sorry, now I got something in my eye. In
the middle of it, I picked out my hair. You can't make those. But it's real, it's life.
I know, right? This is live, y'all. This is life happening in real life. So that was so awesome. And then what it sounded like is, so you were organized, you organized your thoughts. That's the first thing. Organize your thoughts. Put them in folders, put all the things together that go with that. But then use the money from one endeavor to support another endeavor, get that endeavor going, and use that money to support something else.
Right.
So
And I
it's like
stayed
you have a continual.
Yes. And I stayed very disciplined. Like, sometimes it's really, really difficult because, you want to I don't know for you, but for me, sometimes when your bank account hits a certain number and you're like, oh my God. Even if you are fretting in that moment, I did not touch any of the money that was supposed to go towards one thing. It's an amount of discipline, and that's why I said I got a spaghetti jar. So even now I have different jars. I have one jar that has quarters, nickels, dimes. Of course you have your several bank accounts and your stock, whatever that is. But at the same time, you underestimate how far pennies can go.
That's right. That's right.
$44 started Sugar Productions bank account.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is so good. And I love hearing that story because it reminds me a little bit of my story in how far I've come and the power of those jars. So you had jars, I had envelopes. And and not too many people know this part of my story, but I was a teen mom on welfare. And when I was trying to make the transition off of welfare, it still wasn't a whole lot. I had a full-time day job. I was taking care of my son. But after each paycheck and all the bills were paid, I had $20. And all of my $20 had to stretch for 2 weeks. So I divided my $20 into 10 envelopes so that I had $2 a day, every single day. And as long as I had some money, I was never broke. Right. And it was a mental thing. And I knew it wasn't always going to be this way. I knew that things were going to change.
Right.
God was going to continue showing me favor and life was going to go on. I continue to grow in knowledge and experience. And now here today, I'm a business owner, entrepreneur, hiring people and supporting families. And I'm just so grateful for those humble beginnings to come now to where we are. And I just know that what's in the horizon, there's no limit. God has no limit. So I'm not going to put a limit on what's going to come. And I see that for you. That's exactly what you did. You started with what you had and you used it and wisely, and you were disciplined about it. I love how you said, I'm not going to tap into this money for any reason whatsoever, unless it is for the specific purpose that is in this jar.
Right.
Because outside of that, I'm not touching it. That's so smart and so wise. And that discipline is something that so many people don't have. How did you get that?
How did I get the discipline? Well, when I was a little girl, I did have family members that affirmed me. They would say things like, you're unique. You can do anything that you put your mind to, so those things stay with you when you put that into your child young. So yes. I always hold on to those jewels and gems that my family members gave me. And I did a lot of research on awesome people. And when I saw their lives and what they did, for example, once I realized that I had a lot of gifts, I had to say, okay, how can I make these gifts work for my life? What will I need to do? And so I'll use two examples. People that I researched heavy was Queen Latifah. Once I saw how she was living her life. And I also, Candy Burst is another one. Candy Burst has been killing it for decades at this point. So once I started doing research on how can I best be disciplined, I started being mindful about the things that I eat. Whatever I put in my body, I'm very particular about it, because if you don't have the right nourishment, you can't think properly. So once I started to understand moving your body, taking time to pray and have meditation, taking time to journal and write things down, and making plans for myself, and watching what I eat, also I set alarms on my phone. For example, every day at 2:30 p.m., my alarm goes off to drink water. So I started just setting alarms for myself, and those things work, because with the alarms now, if I don't have it on it doesn't shut off once. If I don't answer it, it goes on again and again. And after a while, you're like, okay, let's put it together. Like let's do this. How many times am I gonna like let this alarm go off? And also, Oprah did say that there was actually Oprah and Susie Orman. Susie Orman is a beast with finances.
Oh,
She's
yes.
the one that taught me, okay, if you limit your spending, you buy a good pair of earrings. That way you can wear them often, and you don't have to feel bad about wearing the same earrings all the time, because they're a good pair of earrings, and you don't have to worry about switching it up every time you do a show or an interview. You know, you can switch your hair, but you got those earrings on. So once I researched and saw how they were living their lives, Oprah also said, do not hit snooze 500 times. When the alarm goes off, get your ass up. So I started like really, really, really getting serious. Not started, but I was really, really serious about my life and how I decided to live it. And once I got the hang of eating well, once I got up after, let's see, rarely do I ever snooze the alarm. Like rarely. We can do a lie detector test. Yes, I get the second snooze. But I also make sure that what I'm doing, I love to do. I don't say yes to everything. If I don't feel passionate about it, I have to say at this time I'm unable to do it. And it's true, because I want to be able to give my 100% everything that I do. So you know, and becoming disciplined and researching what the greats do, it actually helped me a lot.
Wow. Wow, that is so good. And Simone Blake is watching us on YouTube. She said she loves the idea of using alarms. So I'm with you, Simone. Yeah.
Yes, I use the alarms for everything. I use the alarms for squats and crunches like twice a week. Sometimes I won't lie. Sometimes that one does. But after like the third week, like, all right, the month is almost over. Like, let's get it together. So I use it for the squats and the crunches. And also another thing that I do is, say you're watching a television show and you know you have things to do. Like if you have your clothes on the bed that you just did your laundry. Each time there's a commercial break, I'll go and even if you fold 3 pieces, you're getting it done. Or if you know you have to go to the bathroom, so each time I get up and go to the bathroom, each time there's a break in a moment, I use it wisely. So in doing things like that, it helps me move forward and get my to-do list done. That way, it frees me up for other things that's necessary, or even for downtime and rest, which is something that I never used to do.
That is so good. So good. And I'm glad you're now getting rest. And I love how you're maximizing the time you have. That's what's so important. So if you're in the middle of watching that movie and you decide, and you've got that pile of clothes on the bed that needs to get folded, I think that is brilliant. So like, okay, it's a commercial break. We'll go here and fold a few pieces and then get back to watching the movie. And so that way you're taking care of your responsibilities. You're being disciplined and doing all the things that are required, and that will free you up to do all the things that you really want to do in your downtime. And it will create some downtime for you, so you don't have to feel so overwhelmed all the time.
Right. And when you do have some downtime, that's when you're able to create. That's when you're able to like actually move forward and grow, because new ideas can come in because you're not clouded, you know? And another thing that I do, and this is huge for your mental health. I choose what I listen to, because of course you turn into what you tune into. So I do a lot of.
Let's not rush past that. You turn into what you tune into.
Yes.
That's golden nuggets right there.
Yes, it is a fact.
I love it.
So I listen to a lot of, I'll say, instrumental music, binaural beats for your pineal gland. Not like a dork, but you know.
Wait, hold on. Do you have like is it like a Pandora station or a Spotify station or something that has like this?
I do it on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, I just type in. So if I'm feeling really, really stressed, I'll say, I'll use, meditation music for stress, or meditation music for sleep. I listen to, I'll even put on classical music. I'll put on piano or ocean waves. The reason why is because if you're sad, or if you're frustrated, or if you are feeling overwhelmed, because your work can make you feel overwhelmed, when you listen to music that has lyrics, sometimes it gets in your brain. So if you're upset, next thing you know, you start getting angry, and you're like, and you can't function like that.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So I try to listen to a lot of jazz so that it can allow my mind to just freely flow. And before you know it, the email is done. The emails are sent out. She's dipping and doing it. And then I could turn on my Nicki Minaj afterwards.
I love it. And Diana says that discipline is really important. Quick question. Can you please share how you practice discipline when you're feeling distracted?
How do I practice discipline when I'm distracted? I get a fruit. I eat a fruit, or I make a fruit smoothie. I get B12. Sometimes I take, some B12, because B12 really helps.
Okay.
Those things. Like I said, I listen to the different tones, the different music, because those things, it's like science. It affects the brain waves. The frequencies affect the brain waves. So if you change a certain sound frequency, you'll notice that you might have more energy, or that you might not. So those things are what I do. I make sure, and I ask myself questions. So if it's like 10, I'll say, okay, you are feeling like you want to do everything but what you need to do. What's going on? What's the real thing? Like, what's happening? Yeah. Just like how I would ask my friends or whoever, I would say, okay, did you eat? All right, check. I ate. Did you use the bathroom? Because sometimes we'll be working so hard that you don't even realize you're holding your bladder.
Right.
Yeah. I start asking my questions. What is it? And then I always have a notepad. So I write it down, the to-do list, because once you get it out of your head, that's when you can start moving forward. If it's in your head, that's when you start to get distracted, because you got so many thoughts happening at one time. And so once you start writing things down, like even if you say, I can't even write, which is what a lot of people say, I don't journal because, I can't. But once you pick up that paper and say, I feel crazy right now. Why do I feel crazy right now? Okay, I'm thinking about the fact that I didn't go grocery shopping when I wanted to. Once you start getting it out, you're like, oh,
okay. Yes, exactly. And I totally get that. And it makes perfect sense. But sometimes our distractions might be little children. Or it's hard to stay disciplined and focused if you've got a little toddler running around and they're banging pots and pans and pulling things out of drawers. And
the sound waves help children's brains. Like,
so you use it on them.
Okay. Yes, they help, because they'll pick it up easy. If you have a routine, and mommy has to go at 12 o'clock noon to be on this live. I have to work. Once 11:50 starts, you could put on that classical music. 11:55 change. It's like changing the tone in the room, changing the frequency, or changing whatever it is. Right? Their bodies know. They pick up on it. So it's also about time. Time management with those things as well. And kids are like sponges, so they can pick that up.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I never would have thought to do that. Like,
yeah, it works.
But it would. But if our children are the distraction, and if they are in a routine and they understand, and because they understand words when you're communicating to them, like don't do this and stop that, and things like that. But they also understand that this is mommy's routine at this time every day. This is what mommy does.
Yeah.
And so they come to expect that. So some days when you don't do that when you're supposed to, your kids will remind you. Wait,
Yes.
are you supposed to be doing
Our
something?
kids are yes. And when kids remind you, you be like, can you be quiet?
Exactly. And Diana said thanks, and she'll take note of them and try to practice. Yes, and discipline is a habit. It's a habit that gets formed over time.
Right.
So definitely be kind to yourself, and just don't give up on yourself, and
Right.
continue the baby steps. If you can do it, for 10 minutes today and 20 minutes
Yeah.
tomorrow or 15 minutes tomorrow, you're making progress, you're making forward motion, and you're making a difference in the quality of your life. So
Right.
that's the most important thing, I think.
Absolutely. And being kind to yourself is like a big thing
Mhm.
because I didn't know that was such a thing in life, how many people weren't kind to themselves. There are a lot of people that treat others better than they treat themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm nice to myself.
Mhm. Good.
I'm not gonna lie.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. You
That's a
have to be.
compliment. Yeah. I even call myself baby.
Right. Hey,
I'm
babe,
like,
come
oh,
on.
baby.
We got
Yes,
stuff to do.
yes, baby, let's go. So I definitely do that. Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love it. And it's so important that we are kind to ourselves, because there's so much being pulled at us, so many, even in commercials sometimes, and you being in the media industry can testify to this, that some commercials, by the people that they have in them and the lifestyle that they're living, it can sometimes make you feel like you're not good enough, or you're not pretty enough, or you're not smart enough, or you're not rich enough, or you're not something enough, which can totally eat away at someone's self-esteem or self-image, how they view themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that? Am I just making that up?
No, because I hear a lot of people saying, and I also see it on social media, that there are people that are struggling with that. But we also have to understand that first, everyone is different. We're not all going to look alike,
Right.
So standards of beauty, standards of strength, or whatever it is going to be different to everyone. And once you realize that you're not here for everyone else, you're here for your own purpose, your own reason. And sometimes I get nervous to say purpose as well, because everybody is trying to find a purpose. But I mentioned this in other interviews. Even if you hand somebody a bucket of water, you're still purposeful,
Right. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, steps like how I said, journaling and talking to yourself, and understanding that we're all different. Like, it's like we really have to have to improve as a society in letting people know that we all are different. We're not all going to look the same, So we,
That's right.
like, how can I say that you're more beautiful than me when we look completely different?
Right. And by whose standards are we judging our own selves? You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like we can't let someone else's conscience be our dictator of our
Right.
self-worth.
Yeah. It's like, you're not enough for who? Not enough for what?
Right.
Once you
Right.
start pausing and asking yourself those kind of questions, it changes your perspective on life.
100%. 100%. Oh, and Lucy's joined us. She said, "Oh, I'm late," but she said, "Hey."
Hi.
Hey, Lucy. Welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here.
Yes.
So, Mo, as we think about business, so I'm going to kind of maybe change the channel a little bit and turn to business. And we have so many different things that we're trying to do. So we may have different legs of our business that we are working on. You have your brands of merchandise, you've got your shows, you've got all the different things. How do you prioritize one over the other to make sure that they are all thriving?
Ooh, that's a great question. Well, I actually spent time on each thing. So I gave myself a time limit. I don't know if I want to say a time limit, but I would say, okay, for the year of 2023, I'm going to focus on this. For the year of 2021, I'm going to focus on this. But by the time the 4 years go by and you realize how much you were able to accomplish, and I don't want to say accrue, but accomplish and gather together,
Mhm.
it actually helps you with your bag of goodies. So that's essentially what I do. I say, okay, from maybe 12 to 2, I'm going to work on this, and then I'll give myself a break. And then from 3 to 5, I'm going to work on this. So I compartmentalize each thing,
Got it.
and that
Got it.
helps. Yeah.
Awesome. So it's like, I love how you have like a whole vision for the year. So that is awesome, because it's like it gives you a way to stay focused on if these things that are happening out here don't go with what the purpose is for this year,
Right.
then I know that doesn't fit. It doesn't go together. And so I know not to focus on that particular thing, because that's not my thing for this year. Maybe next year, maybe 2 years from now, or whatever.
And learning how to say no.
Yes, yes, and learning how to say no. I think that also goes into that whole distraction part too, because sometimes those opportunities, I'm putting that in air quotes, that look good, could truly just be a distraction from what you're really supposed to be doing.
Right.
Right.
I had to say no twice last year, and a friend of mine was like, "Oh, you just don't want to film. It's not good enough for you." And I was like, "No, it's not that. I just can't distract. I just cannot not finish." For example, Mo Brown's Bodega, we had so many issues with the show, and in between that, I fibroids and adenomyosis was something that I, had been working to cure myself of for, it's been years now. And so I had to realize that health is wealth. And if I don't take care of my health, I'm no good to anybody or anything. So what am I going to do? So last year, I say from July to, no, I say from before that, like last year, April to about November, I got extremely focused, and I said, I'm gonna finish this. I said no to so many things. Oh, your friends are going out, they're doing things, they're having dinner. Our brown people like to have brunches. I missed a lot of brunches, but I had to get focused. Yeah, I had to get focused, and I said no to a lot of things. And outside is gonna always be there.
Yes,
always going to be there. So
it's always going to be outside.
Yeah.
Yes. I love it. I love it. And so taking care of yourself, your health is wealth. Yeah. Love that. That should be definitely the number one priority. And when things are coming in that are impacting that, you're number one. You have to take care of you, because if you don't take care of you, how are you going to take care of anyone else?
Right.
So
and
totally
that also includes who you hang around and who you involve in your space, and who you cry to, your friend circle, your business circle, all of those things matter too, because if you have friends that doubt you, if you have friends that question everything you do or tell you that things aren't possible, you can't grow. And it's okay to assess. It's okay to assess your circle of people. Right. And I had to do that. And I noticed that I was really, really sick, because I don't want to say that a lot of the people in my life were making me sick, but I was stressed out a lot.
If they're toxic, they can make you sick.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We have pulling and draining.
Yes. Oh, that part. My goodness. It's like you're the one constantly pouring into, and they're the one constantly needing. And that is exhausting. It's just exhausting.
Yeah.
And so, and I love how you talk about your business community, even who you hang with. You want to be around people who have faith enough for both of you to succeed. Because sometimes the things that we're believing for, they're not possible on our own strength. We need like a supernatural impartation of all the things that we need. And we need to surround ourselves with other people who can believe like that with us and for us and join us and making our petitions known. Because we are all here for a purpose. We all have different gifts, skills, and talents. We're supposed to be using them for God's glory, of course, but because we wouldn't have them without him. So I'm just saying, when you surround yourself with people like, oh, no, you can't do that. You don't have a college degree. Get your degree first, then maybe you can do something. Or no, you can't do that. You don't have clear enough skin. Or your butt's too big or whatever. You know what I mean? No, stop it. Stop hanging around those people speaking all that negativity into your life, and surround yourself with people who can believe with you and for you and are on the same track. They're on the same mission. They have similar thoughts and ideas, even if they're not entrepreneurs or not business owners. They are trying to excel in their corporate jobs or whatever, and they believe in themselves and they believe in the power of positivity.
Yes. It's like imperative.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. Could not agree more. And as I am thinking about community and business and work, Simone says, yes, surround yourself with like-minded people and distance yourself from the toxic ones. Oh, thank you, Simone. That's where I was going to go. Sometimes your family, I probably shouldn't say that loud, but
sometimes it's your family.
Yeah, you say it.
Yeah. Ooh, look, I'm going to get in trouble.
It could be, but you still love them. You don't stop loving them, but you just know where to start and end the conversation.
Yes. Absolutely.
Because
destructive behaviors. Abuse.
Protect your peace. That is, Corinne Hawthorne said that very well. In case y'all don't know who she is, definitely look her up. She is one of the best Christian singers and rap artists today, in my opinion. Love her. So, Mo, what would you say are key factors that guide your decision-making when choosing new projects or opportunities? I know we talked about your year focus and what the focus is for the year, and then breaking down the different tasks and time blocking and dedicating some time to each thing that you're involved in. But when you're thinking about new projects or opportunities, what are some factors that you take into consideration?
One, how does it make me feel? Two, how can it be of influence? What is my intention? What do I want the world to get from this? And prayer and meditation. And being still in the moment. When I ask myself that question, usually it's the first response that you hear. It can be the second sometimes, but I listen to myself. Yeah, sure. Yeah. But if it doesn't, I don't want to say, because if it doesn't build people up, if it doesn't help my community, if it doesn't take people away from stress, then I don't do it. For example, there are some people that would tell me that I should have taken the opportunity to do a lot of the reality shows. We have went through about like 7 networks. So one of the shows that I host, Mic Check Wednesdays, we went in, like, it was about 7 networks, and they wanted us to be something that we weren't. And I even had to like re-edit the pilot. At first I didn't want to talk about it, but I feel like these stories, help people. So they wanted us to they wanted the crowd to boo the people that were on the stage. And that's not what we do. We don't boo people on the stage. And then they also, I remember sitting down, the first question that they asked was, which one are you sleeping with? And I was like, I'm not sleeping with any of the guys that I'm doing the show with. Like, what do you mean? This is crazy. And then they would ask, did you want to, of course, with the reality TV, they want you to fight and be spitting on people and all that stuff. And I had to really assess and say, this is not why I started doing this. I didn't do this to break people down. Like, I spent many a days crying about it, because most people say, oh, it's gonna make you, well known and stuff. But I said, it doesn't feel right to the young people that I mentor. It doesn't feel right to the people that know me. People don't know me as a punch of people in the face and stuff like that, So I had to really assess, How do these things make me feel? How is it going to affect my community? Is this going to be impactful? When I start asking myself those questions, if it's a no for the majority of them, I don't do it.
Right. That's so smart. And it's being true to who you are at your core. You are a good person. And no amount of money is going to change that. And so, and you made that plain and clear and made it known. And so good for you for sticking to your guns and being content where you are right now, being faithful where you are right now, because, what is for you and you will have. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. Because those things affect your mental health.
Oh, for sure. For sure. When you're not living consistently with your values or in congruence with your values, and you're like making yourself do things that you don't want to do, that is just not healthy.
Right.
That is just plain old wrong. Don't do that.
Yeah, for sure. You start questioning, and then you fall into the realm of it's like, that's when you start questioning yourself, asking all those questions where you don't feel like, what am I doing? And then you see something that would be in alignment with what you really wanted. And that's when you start to say, well, am I enough for this? And am I enough for that? I see people do it all the time. And I'm like, you got to ask yourself questions before you go in on things,
Right.
I literally,
Go ahead.
I literally ask myself, people say, oh, you're crazy if you talk to yourself. No, talk to yourself.
Yes, talk to yourself. Absolutely talk to yourself, because you have to know for sure, who am I? Who and how does this align with who I am and who I'm called to be and the purpose that I'm here for on this earth? So we have to ask those questions. Absolutely. Hey, Talon Galloway, welcome to the show. It's good to have you.
Hi. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions for Mo, feel free to slip them in the chat. We love engaging with our audience and answering questions. Mo is amazing, and we've been having a blast talking business and prioritizing ourselves over all the things that might not be in alignment with who we are and where we want to go for our future, whether it's in business or personal life. So welcome to the show. So Mo, I know we've got just a short time, goes so fast. Oh my!
I know. I'm like, it's 1:43.
What advice do you have for thriving in diverse roles like acting and producing without burning out?
That's a good one.
It sometimes seems like your candle might be burning at both ends. How do you keep burning?
That's why I laughed. In 2019, I had burnout really bad. Yes, I had burnout really bad because I wasn't balancing. I wasn't sleeping. The first thing that, and people ask all the time, is there anything that you would change, anything that you would tell your younger self or whatever? And I'm like, sleep. If you don't sleep, you're not clear. Yeah. So the first thing to avoid burnout is to sleep, because when you sleep, you're well rested and you can think clearly.
That's right.
Yeah. What else do I do to avoid burnout? If I'm looking at my calendar and I know that I am going to be burned out if I try to squeeze something in from 7 to 8, when I know that from 7 to 9 I need to rest so I could be ready for 10, that's when I have to learn how to say no. So, going back to what I said before about taking care of my health and making sure I'm eating well, making sure I am setting alarms, making sure I am disciplining, and I give myself rewards too. Like I'll eat a cookie afterwards.
Right. You did good.
Right? It helps, because when you deprive yourself all the time, that's when you get frustrated. And then you try to get work done while you're frustrated because you deprived yourself. It's like, no, like, how are we going to take care of ourselves better?
Right.
So
exactly.
So I try to make sure I can, like I said, asking myself, what do I need right now? And each time I get frustrated, it'll probably take a little bit before I pause, because I think that I could push through all the time. And we're we're not robots. We have to understand that we are human beings. And if you're tired, rest.
That's right. Absolutely. Just take care of yourself. I love how Lucy says she loves this question. So I'm glad that we're diving in a little bit deeper to discuss it, because burnout is real. As you know, as you said, in 2019, you went through it and learned some lessons, maybe some hard lessons. And that in hindsight, had somebody told you this before, maybe you wouldn't have had to go through. So it's so important to listen to your body, take care of your health, take care of yourself, and don't pile on so much thinking you have to be Superwoman.
Yeah,
especially in
New York. You know, everything is fast paced. A lot of people have anxiety. You know, a lot of people are unsure about their future. You know, yes, you live for today and plan for tomorrow, but everything is so unsure right now that you literally have to live for today.
Right. Well, I mean, you can still plan, but you just don't get so wrapped up in how you execute that you don't take time for the moments. To take, to listen to yourself, listen to your body, listen to how your energy is feeling going through your body. Like if you're feeling all tight and tense in your neck and your body is stiff and all these things, something needs to be different. Something needs to change. You might need to drink more water, eat more fruit, get more rest. All of those things keep you from getting burnt out.
Yeah. I realized that, and I realized this in 2022, so if you see when you're driving, some people, because I'm short, so I have to put the seat all the way up. Now, even when I'm in the passenger side, I'm holding myself up and I'm like, why am I holding myself up? I'm not the one driving. Relax, it's in the seat. You know, sometimes I'll be standing and talking, realizing it feels like my stomach is doing crunches. And I'm like, what's happening here? The angst for the next moment, or, you know, I'm realizing that I'm carrying the tension in my stomach, which then leads to, like fibroid situation. That's another topic. But, you know, like how you said, paying attention to how your body feels is massive, even with work, around people. All of those things, we are taught to ignore it. We are taught to, even when we have our cycle, plug it up and put a tampon in and keep it moving and keep it running. Like, no, take time, you know, and that's for men and women. You know, I don't just want to say women, because we have men listening as well. You know, a lot of men don't listen, you know, even if they have skin breakouts, you know, all of those things matter.
Yes, because that's what evidence is on them. You know, it could be a skin breakout. They might think it's a beard rash or something like that. But no, that is stress coming out of your face. So you definitely need to listen. And when women are going through it, understand, look, this too shall pass. But in the meantime, we need to take care of ourselves and not ignore it. And I love the part how you said, and Lucy said this, Lucille says that she agrees as well. But I love how you said, in all of these things that you're doing in terms of prioritizing and doing all the things and being disciplined, I love how you said that it's important to reward yourself. And I think the reason why I love that so much is because I think that there are too many women, and maybe some men, who don't feel like they're worthy of rewards. Like, for them to be the recipient of good things is unacceptable in their mind for some reason. Like, all the good stuff is for everybody else. Rewards are for somebody else.
You have to rewire your brain. Like, you literally have to rewire your brain, because we were taught that. We were programmed to believe those things. And so once you start to read a lot and expand, watch documentaries, you know, and just when you travel and you meet new people and you experience people living way more peaceful, you're like, I think I'm doing something wrong here, you know?
Right.
Those things matter, and it changes the way you function. And because we've been functioning, you know, say you're 50 and you've been functioning a certain way for 40 years of your life, you have to be patient with yourself, and you have to understand that there was 40 years of this. It's not going to take me 4 months
Right.
to get rid of this. Even when we're in school and we're trying to get our, you know, our degrees and all those things, it still takes 4 years of this, 4 years of that. So once you start to understand that, you know, time can be an illusion, but also trying to maximize time and just, you know, bend and shift time as, you know, as you can, you know, you start to function differently. And when you're talking to yourself in a different way, it's going to feel uncomfortable at first, like anything does. When you start working out, your body is sore. It's the same thing that happens with your mind. Yeah, the same thing that happens with your mind, you know. So it's just understanding that reprogramming it takes time, you know,
Yeah.
and not judging yourself.
Right. That's right. And I love how you said that. We've been living in these bodies 40, 50 years and have always been this way. And now we become we get
Robot.
revelation. We get revelation of how that something could be different. We don't
Right.
have to be the snappy person. We don't have to be the attitude person. We don't have to be the clapback person. We don't have to be the stubborn person. Wait, what? I've been this all my life. What you talking about?
Right. Yeah.
So I love how you say give yourself time and grace and space to make the adjustments and just try every day to be less of the old way and more of the new way that you're trying to be. And
Yeah.
then reward yourself, recognize yourself and your accomplishments. And
Right.
praise yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. Say, yay,
Yeah.
I did good today. I was good today. I didn't snap at nobody
Right.
all day.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And it's also, you know, understanding too that so when we're babies and we come out, we get so much, you know, they give love and affection and you get the kisses and the hugs. Also as parents and the village that raises the children, because I have a lot of children in my life that I, you know, that I help raise, that love me, that I take care of, Auntie Mo, all those things. Now, once you realize that you can't just cut it off, like there are parents that say, you're 12 now, you no longer deserve hugs, you no longer deserve this, you no longer deserve that. It's like you have to ease your child into adulthood, because as they get older and those things are cut, that's when they start searching and looking for a whole bunch of other things to fulfill what's happening. And those are, you know, that falls into distractions and not being focused on the things that you're supposed to be doing because, you know, you're feeling sad. So you're like, let me go get a hug, or let me sleep with this one, let me sleep with that one, you know? So once you start understanding those things, you can take care of yourself better. Like, okay, well, when did this start where I stopped feeling like I needed my mom to say, you're doing great, you're doing excellent? Like, we have to learn how to teach each other how to love better, love ourselves better, love ourselves differently. You know, I'm trying to make sure that I'm saying that with clarity. Like, you know, parents, they really do a cutoff. And so when you do the cutoff, that's when you start feeling lost. You say, oh, those teenage years, because in those years, those are the years where that's when the hugs and kisses stop. That's when the love stops. That's when those things stop. And so that's when the confusion begins, and they don't know how to function. And that's why it is so, that's why I mentor ages 17 to 26.
Wow.
That age range, it's like they're in college and then they just get thrown out into the world, and they don't know how to transition properly.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so it's we need to teach each other, or learn how to, or humble ourselves enough to learn how to give each other the transition period, those in between those ages. Please, I hope it made sense, everything that I said, that it came together.
Yes, it absolutely came together, but I got stuck a little bit on the cutoff of the hugs, because I know that when you're mentoring your experience with all these young people is so much broader than mine. All I have is my own life experience. And the hugs and affection and positive reinforcement, was never cut off. I'm in my 50s. It was never cut off. I will hug my mom today. My sons will hug me. They know that when I see all my grandkids and they are in that age range, and I hug them and they know the hugs are here. Hugs are always going to be here. As long as hugs are free, they get one. So it's like, I hope that any parents on this show, watching this show, never create a cutoff for their kids for hugs. I'm just going to put it like that. And then we won't have a generation of people who are needing, therapy because they got cut off.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, no, that's not okay. Love is forever. Love is forever.
Right.
My husband's father is going to be 92 in a couple of weeks. And every time I see him, I throw my arm around his neck. He getting a hug. It's still free.
Those things matter too, because when your personal life is in shambles, you can't focus for your work life. Right. And I think that's why I brought it up too, because that those things lead to distraction. They lead to distraction, which is why I said it's important for the people that you're hanging around. Do they pour into you? Do they give you the love that you need? Are they there to support you so that you don't have thoughts of not feeling enough, so that you don't have the thoughts of not being able to do this and not being able to feel like you belong in the room. So yeah, there we go. I was making sure I wanted to put it together because these things go hand in hand. All of it goes together. It's not separate.
Absolutely. And you get distracted because you're feeling a loss. Yes. There's a hole. There's a void. Yeah. There's something that's supposed to be there that's not. That's why I say parents, don't create the hole.
Right.
Don't.
And then you become a workaholic.
Right. Right.
That's exactly
what burnout.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. And because your kids will feel it. They absolutely will feel it. And then they'll pass it on to their kids because they think that's what life is supposed to be, because that's what you taught them.
Right.
Teach them better, parents.
Yeah. The burnout, from when you try to fill those voids, becoming a workaholic. I remember was it the doctor or a therapist said, it's not something to be proud of to be a workaholic.
That's
and I was like,
it's not.
Excuse me. What do you mean? She was like, no, you should not hold that award. It's not okay. You have more than just, your life is more than just what you do. You are a being. You are here for other life experiences as well. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes when you don't do, that's when things come to you.
Exactly. In those times of rest. When you're taking care of yourself. Absolutely. Yeah, so sure. Mo, I cannot believe we have been just chatting and you have been sharing all these nuggets and gems, and our time is almost out. And I know that you've got stuff going on. We want to follow you on all the different things that you have happening, making sure that we're showing love and support. So tell us, number one, what's on the agenda for you? What's on the horizon for you? And how can we follow you and stay in touch with you after today's show?
Okay, so Instagram, Mo Brown Suga. Don't put the R after the sugar. It's SUGA. Mo Brown Suga on Instagram. Mo Brown Suga everywhere, actually. MoBrownSuga.com, SugarProductions.com, and MoBrownsBodega.com. Now, the show, we just finished screening last month in June. Well, it's August now, but in June, we screened at the American Black Film Festival. We are also screening at the Newark International Film Festival in September. Yes, it's very exciting. I also, last month, I was in another series called Say It Louder. We screened at the Essence Film Festival. So I'm going to be posting all of this stuff. It's just a lot and overwhelming. So I do want people to support Mo Brown's Bodega. It's a feel-good show. I wanted to create something that reminded us of TGIF. Remember TGIF years ago, where the whole family was able to watch something. I felt like that was really important because, like I said, I didn't want to only be doing reality TV. I didn't only want to focus on, although I love, writing and filming drama films, but I also want people to feel good. We're in a time right now where there's so much unsurety. I just want people to laugh and feel good, right.
And this show is hilarious. Let me be one of the million to tell you, the show is hilarious. I love
Good.
it.
Yay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Also,
Definitely.
one more thing. So we are in production right now. I am producing a docu-series for the LGBTQ community, and it is on a guy named Jinx, and he is a stylist, and he moved from Illinois, from the South, up to New York to pursue his dreams and his goals. And so I really hope that it helps people accept one another for who they are and just be of love and allowing people to coexist with them as well. So look out for that. That's called Have You Been Jinxed?
Got it.
So that's coming, but yes.
You.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Well,
y'all can buy the Mo Body Butter oil too. Thanks.
oh yeah. Go on the website, buy the Mo Body Butter. It's all here on the screen. Definitely check her out. Support her shop for sure. It's great for your skin. It is amazing, y'all. Check it out. We have it showing here on the video for y'all. Have no listen to the replay on audio only. You're missing out. Sorry, but definitely go to sugarproductions.com and click on shop and support Mo Brown. Y'all,
thank you so much.
This has been absolutely amazing. Mo, you were made for something great. So go and be awesome.
Thank you so much. Yay.